What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? If you guys are brand new here, man, you guys don't know what we do, don't worry, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. We talk about the most scariest and creepiest videos on the net, on the web, that's gonna make us question everything. Seekers, sit back. Let's do what we do best, Seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Seek the truth.
Said that you thought that they were demons.
Okay, I did say that.
What did you mean by that?
Well, first of all, there not just in Christianity, but in a number of world religions, there are a number of mystical things that happened, extra dimensional, extra. I'm not one of these people who's like a hyper rationalist. I think that there are things happening in the world that we're not always seeing. I believe in God. I think that there is a kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Not extra real.
Supernatural.
Supernatural. There are supernatural things that are happening. Okay. So, if you look historically at, things that are similar to the alien phenomenon, where some strange being, it kind of looks like a human being, but doesn't look like, but it's not human, and it shows a particular interest in human beings, and then it takes the human beings and does weird experiments on them.
See the storm, bro? Don't make one on my screen.
Dude, that is so spooky. This just looks like a superstar, does it not? Buddy, you didn't know.
Robots inside of the Great Pyramid just reached a stone door that nobody has gone through in over 4,500 years. And Egypt is currently saying that they're finally about to open it this year so they can see what's behind it. So actually, a few years ago, scientists scanned the Great Pyramid with cosmic rays, which are basically like an X-ray, and they found a hidden corridor that nobody even knew was there. They're saying that the corridor is about 30 feet long, and it's actually sitting right above the main entrance. At the end of it, they're saying that they found a stone door that no human has ever walked through in history, and Egypt is finally going in this year to be able to open it. They already went and slipped a tiny camera through a gap that they found in the stones just so they could see the first look of what's inside. Guys, if you want to make sure that you do not miss it whenever they finally open that door, you need to make sure you go ahead and add me now, because I'm obviously gonna post it. And whatever they find back there, they're saying that it could rewrite entire history for how the pyramids were built. If you want to make sure you do not miss it, again, make sure you add me now, because I'm obviously gonna post it.
Seekers, man, it's still crazy, bro. The pyramids been around for how long, and they're still fighting secret rooms, secret entrances, bro. But I have a feeling whatever they're gonna find in our room is gonna shock the world, man. I'm gonna stay tuned for those clips for you guys, Seekers. What do you guys think is back there? Ain't getting on me.
Think people time travel. Y'all don't think people have the ability to predict the future? Well, if they can't, then how is this possible? Let's talk about how somebody tweeted that Argentina will beat Spain at the 2026 World Cup 3-2. I know what you're gonna say. Easy, that's who they rooting for. Look at the date right there. He tweeted this July 11th, 2021 at 4:28 p.m. What year is it? And then we fast forward. Argentina is playing Spain in the World Cup on July 19th. I want you to tell me how that's possible. Then I also want you to tell me, if Argentina beats Spain 3-2, what does that mean? It's going to be a lot of people that say the account that tweeted that was fake. You can do that easily. That's a fake account. Oh yeah? Look at this. I made it my business to go through this account thoroughly. Look when the account started. March 2017. What year is this? Look at this right here. Now you tell me what you think. Is it a fake account now? Mind you, I jumped down the rabbit hole. And guess what? In these same comments, you have people saying that The Simpsons predicted the same exact thing. So now again, my question to you is, if Argentina wins the 2026 World Cup 3-2, beating Spain 3-2, what does that mean? Does that mean a time traveler put this up here? Or does that mean that somebody that can predict the future predicted the future? Let me know.
Time travel. Confirmed if that happens.
Where's Bigfoot? Oh, he's across the road.
Y'all see your seekers?
According to the Akashic Records, what is CERN and why did it actually close down? Please give us the full spiritual breakdown.
According to the Akashic Records, CERN operates at the intersection of spiritual exploration and technological ambition, representing humanity's pursuit to understand the fundamental fabric of reality. However, its purpose, creation, and shutdown reveal a far deeper story tied to energetic shifts, hidden agendas, and the evolution of Earth and humanity's consciousness. CERN's purpose, the Akashic perspective. At its core, CERN serves as a tool for both scientific discovery and energetic experimentation. These dual purposes reflect humanity's current state of divided consciousness. One part striving for understanding through material discovery, and the other deeply influenced by unseen multidimensional forces. The Akashic Records reveal the following purposes for CERN. First, to probe the nature of existence. CERN explores subatomic particles with the intent to unlock the secrets of matter, time, and the universal structure. While humanity labels this as scientific inquiry, it is, in essence, a search for the deeper nature of creation, the fingerprint of God, as some would call it.
I've seen bears break into people's cars, people's homes, go through garbage cans. But have you ever seen a bear or bears steal golf clubs off of a golf course?
No.
You don't believe me, right? Have a look at this video for yourself. Look at this right here. The entire golf club set, including the bag. They literally went onto a golf course in Canada. This was in Canada. And took the bag and all of the clubs included and just kept going. Even though people were yelling and screaming at him, there's his lookout right there. And they're just like, let's go. You got the bag, you got the clubs, let's go, go, go. Go, pick it up. Look at this. Unbelievable. This video right here may possibly go down as one of the best bear stealing videos. Golf clubs, an entire set including the bag. I want you to tell me that that was not the best bear theft video you've seen anywhere. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
That was crazy.
Scientists have discovered a giant hole at the bottom of the ocean, and it's not empty. Blue holes are named for the dark blue waters of their depths, which contrast with the shallows around them. They're ancient relics from previous ice ages, starting out as sinkholes. When these ice ages ended and the sea levels rose, this created blue holes in what is now the seafloor. Recently, scientists were exploring the uncharted deep waters of the Caribbean. They were sending sound waves down and calculating depth based on how long they took to return. And they found something unusual on the seafloor, 450 meters down. A crater 300 meters wide and dropping to 550 meters below sea level. Usually there's very little life deep inside a blue hole, as the dissolved oxygen levels drop to 0. But the scientists dropped a camera inside this one and found various fish, sponges, and a type of urchin. Pretty unusual.
Please tell me you've seen this video coming out of a children's museum. So many people are saying that this is a camera glitch, and I really don't think it is. So, at one point in the museum, they have a screen that does thermal imaging, which anything that's giving off a thermal reading like a body where it's a warmer temperature glows red. This person is filming that, but when he steps away, there's something blue, which means it's colder than the temperature around it, laying in the floor, and it's shaped like a human. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's just a camera glitch. Why would a camera glitch out a body? Like, that's what that is. You can see the arms sprawled out, you can see the legs, you can even see the head, and it's colder on its face. Now the guy even pans the camera back around to show you there's nothing there that's even that shape. So it kind of makes you wonder what's happened in this children's museum, and what on earth is that? Let me know your thoughts on this one. Do you think it's just a camera glitch? Or do you think that this is some sort of spirit haunting this museum?
Zuckerberg just figured out how to translate human thoughts into text. And yes, it's exactly as creepy as it sounds. It's called Brain 2 QWERTY. Meta built an AI that sits outside your skull, reads the magnetic fields, and rebuilds your sentences from your brainwaves. Their best volunteer hit 78% word accuracy, nearly double what the same team had 12 months ago. Elon Musk's Neuralink drills chips into human brains to do this. Meta hit almost the same result with zero surgery and open sourced it for free. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Sam Altman are all funding brain tech too. They've made the same bet. The next smartphone is your brain. The honest part? It still needs a room-sized scanner, tested on just 9 volunteers, and reads the intent to type, not private thoughts. But picture someone trapped by a stroke or ALS. Until now, giving them a voice meant invasive surgery. With $2 billion pouring in, this is our first real shot at deleting the middleman between mind and screen.
I want to warn you guys right now, if you're watching this at night, you're probably going to want to put this in your bookmarks and come back during the daytime. You've been warned. This is another creepy TikTok video that I got tagged in. It says, "My soul left my body, poor dog." And at first, you can't really see anything besides this dog standing in this street, and the dog walks away. Now, if you rewatch the original video a few times and you look in the background towards this dark space and you turn up the exposure, you can start to kind of see the outline of what looks to be a humanoid figure. Many people, when they first watched this, thought that this figure looked very similar to the Rake, which is an urban legend that originated on the internet back in 2004, I believe on 4chan if I remember correctly. Now I'm going to play you guys the video again. You can rewatch it and see if you spot it this time.
I don't see it.
If you made it to the end of this, I'm really sorry for jump scaring you. I got jump scared, so I just had to share it with everybody else. Send this to your friend or something to get them as well. Sorry.
There are currently 9 airliners, all squawking 7700, which is a general emergency near London right now. Many of them are EasyJet. As you can see here, we have a British Airways flight as well. At the moment, I don't know what's going on. We're streaming this, whatever it is. Come join us.
Am I the only one who's looking at this trend and thinking, are we training AI on our emotions? You know that trend going around where people say the same sentence in different emotions? They'll say it in different ways like happy, angry, disappointed, sarcastic. And I don't know about y'all, but I keep on thinking, what if this is exactly what these big tech companies want? Think about how millions of people are voluntarily recording themselves, saying the same exact sentence in 4 or 5 different emotional tones. Now AI doesn't just know what your voice sounds like, it knows what your voice sounds like when you're angry. It knows when you're excited and when you're being sarcastic and when you sound disappointed. And do you guys remember that girl who went viral who posted a clip of herself with an AI generated clip at the end of her video? And she said she never made those movements at all and everybody called her crazy? Yeah, well, it turns out TikTok rolled out a feature that extends your video by using your face, your voice, your background, and generates footage that never existed. So maybe next time a trend randomly asks you to act out every human emotion, it's probably worth asking who benefits from all that data. This trend might be collecting the one thing AI can't fake on its own, which is human emotion. And I think the scariest part is we're giving it away for free. But let me know what you guys think.
That's crazy, bro. Makes me think, man, how these trends be coming out of nowhere. Maybe that's why they made it in the first place, man. We're using it to train AI, bro. We're training AI models, man, by participating in those trend seekers. I don't do it, but that's a very specific trend. Happy, sad, disappointed, sarcastic. You're seeing all in different tones and feeding it through the AI system, man. They can learn from that easy. They benefiting from that, bro. Crazy work, seekers.
Just underwater is the United States, too, parts of that part. Atlantis was a part of the Greek mythology.
Do you think it's real?
Absolutely. What do you mean? They showed total. You remember when they were showing those people underneath the statues underneath the water by Cuba? And they were saying it's all a part of Atlantis. And remember, Cuba is right next to the United States. So Atlantis is the first creation of when the when we first started the creation of humans with the aliens. So remember, if the ocean is space, again, Atlantis is a part of the mermaids. You got the mermaids there, you got the sea creatures, you got all that. It's United States.
And Atlantis is currently underwater?
It's not just underwater, it's the United States, too. Parts of that part, where all the water part is. So it's not, I won't say all underwater because it's the border. It's tied to it.
What is a star seed?
I like to see us as Terminator. I don't know why. We're here to bring down the system. A star seed is going to have a different assigned, how can I say this, chart than any, like not blood chart, I want to say blueprint. Star seeds have different blueprints than anything. They're more rebellious than anything. So star seeds are somebody that remember exactly who they are.
Why? Any of you guys seeking star seeds, bro? Want to tell me down below if you guys rebelling against the system, bro? Then you're a star seed, man.
Is the griffin the symbol of the legendary lost empire of Tartaria, found all over the United States? Look around. This powerful mythical creature, body of a lion, wings, and head of an eagle, is carved into courthouses, government buildings, and grand architecture across America, and even in Havana, Cuba. The same majestic griffin, the same striking design, everywhere. Tartaria was said to be a vast, advanced civilization deliberately erased from our history books. So why does its primary symbol dominate symbols of power and authority in the West? Is it just coincidence? Random decoration from the 1800s? Or is it evidence of a hidden past, hidden in plain sight?
What's up, people of the internet? Alright, so y'all check this out. Today is June 14th, 2026. Another update on these Peachtree experiments. Everybody kept saying plug something in, plug something in. Y'all are not going to believe this. And I've had people say that I'm lying. Somebody said show me behind the tree. Y'all, I am not hiding nothing. This wire goes right into that panel. I'm not hiding a battery or nothing like that.
Okay.
For the new people, I know I'm getting new followers every day now. First thing I done to this tree was put a copper nail completely through this limb. One side of the nail has a wire going so far up and stopping, and this tree's eating that copper wire, and it's loose. The other side of the nail has a wire going down and into the ground. Y'all are not going to believe this, and I have tested every tree in my yard, and I have a big pecan tree and got plum trees, banana tree, willows, and everything is testing negative. But this tree right here with that panel plugged into it,
positive.
I mean, it's powered up. Y'all, that's crazy for real. This tree's grounded, so how? I'm still confused, but I'm excited about all this. People call me crazy, whatever. There y'all go. And I'm going to leave this thing plugged in and see how long this light burns. 12-volt LED for a car. Y'all, this is crazy. And y'all can't say those peaches don't look good. There y'all go. The light is burning.
So if you got a peach tree, bro, put some copper in it, man, you're gonna give yourself some free energy, bro. That's wild, man. I might actually have to try that experiment, bro. Get a peach tree, put some copper in it, plug something in it, plug it up, see if it works, bro. Okay, you getting free energy in 2026?
Please tell me why all of the bells were confiscated and destroyed during World War I and World War II? According to the mainstream narrative, we essentially confiscated all of the bells throughout Europe because it was the easiest way to get more precious metals for the crafting of ammunition. So of course we took down all of these amazing healing bells that were up at every single corner in Europe, and we used these bells to then craft ammo and off each other. Amazing, right? What an amazing agenda. Not only that, but all of these cities, ancient architecture that has been standing for hundreds or even thousands of years, just blown to smithereens. Now, I honestly think that the events of World War I and World War II were designed to get rid of a huge portion of the population and also to erase our true history, to completely disconnect us from our roots and then bring us into the modern age. You see, after World War II, the entire global economy was restructured. Of course, the Earth isn't actually a globe, but you get my point. I made this video entirely for entertainment purposes only.
For thousands of years, advanced cultures around the world used gold as a medicine. The ancient Vedics created a gold ash called Swarna Bhasma. Medieval alchemists became obsessed with something called arum potable, or drinkable gold. In Renaissance Europe, the physician Paracelsus declared that gold properly prepared could strengthen the heart and restore the body's vital force. By the 1700s, French aristocrats were paying fortunes for potable gold. Centuries later, when researchers looked at some of these ancient recipes, they found that these ancient alchemists were actually producing nanoparticle-sized gold clusters. This is sometimes incorrectly referred to as monoatomic gold or ormus. Currently, there are dozens of studies that show properly prepared gold nanoparticles can improve cognition, restore memory to an extent, and help increase the potency of stem cells. There are also countless examples of people themselves.
A magnitude 6.6 struck the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. To look deeper, I feel we need to go back about 250 million years. Back then, every continent was fused into one supercontinent. Pangaea, South America, and Africa were a single landmass. Look how their coastlines still fit together like puzzle pieces. Then, around 140 million years later, the land began to tear apart. Molten rock welled up into the crack, and it's still pushing the two continents apart a couple of centimeters a year. The seam is now the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, a 16,000-kilometer underwater mountain range, and today's earthquake was right on top of it. But here's the thing. The plates didn't smash together. Along this part of the ridge, they grind sideways past each other. How big is a 6.6 really? The scale is exponential, not linear. You go up one number, you release around 32 times more energy. So a 7.6 isn't slightly bigger than today's quake, it's 32 of them. A magnitude 9 like Sumatra had in 2004 is thousands of times stronger. Also, why no tsunami? Tsunamis need the seafloor to jump up. Well, that happens when one plate dives under another and shoves the seabed skyward. But today's quake was just this sideways slipping, so no tsunami. Just the planet quietly having a rearrange, as it has done for the last 250 million years. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
Scary, man. Are all the continents trying to fuse back together?
We also found something to this day. There's not one scientist that can figure it out.
Really?
We think it's a wormhole.
What? So you saw something go in it?
No, come out of it.
Oh, come out of it.
And not just one, multiple things.
Whoa.
Some sort of cloud, we don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
That opens and closes, and multiple objects coming out of it.
Crazy.
Yes. And also what we did to make it very scientific is we triangulated. So we had cameras on the coast of California and across in Catalina Island and a third location.
Wow.
So from 3 locations, we were capturing data.
That's crazy.
I know. And then we had radar validate the cameras exactly in that location, showing these objects come out of that hole. We don't know what it is, so we're calling it a worm.
What happened to Brandy? Is this even the same person at all? Because something definitely seems different about Brandy. What do you all think about this? This is very bizarre. This is the Brandy that I remember, and I'm sure that this is the Brandy that most, if not all of you, remember. So again, I am asking each and every one of you, do you remember the current Brandy, or do you remember this Brandy right here? Again, what is going on? Maybe she just lost weight. Maybe that's all that there is to this. Or maybe, just maybe, something else is going on entirely. Because again, why are all of these celebrities looking different? And again, maybe this is Brandy, or maybe just maybe something more is going on here. Again, you tell me what you think. Is this old age? Is this weight loss? Or is there something more going on here?
Trying to get the blood vessels flowing, trying to get that flowing again. It worked.
Meet your new roommate.
What is that thing?
That is fun to...
My voice.
Mm.
Did you do something to my voice?
I did. Like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's different. Anyway, what is that thing?
This is Funtime Freddy.
Okay. What is that thing?
That's Bon Bon. Ignore him for now. Later, project.
You want us to...
I want us to fix and repair him.
You want mine?
Of course, smarty pants.
What's the first step?
Well, there is no first step. I'll do that tomorrow.
So I have to share this room for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I mean, you've done it before. It's fine.
I'm not talking to him.
He can't even talk. He's not powered on.
Fine.
Just don't hurt him or break him.
If it moves, it's getting pushed over.
No, don't you dare. And be careful with him. He's fragile. He's a very fragile. Look at his neck, all broken.
You don't care.
What is going on here, guys?
It ain't melting.
Wow. What is going on?
And we consume that.
Something is up with this ice cream. As you can see, he's running hot water on the ice cream and it's barely melting. It doesn't look like it's melting at all. Now, I'm not sure why it's doing that, because the ice cream that I used to have back in the days was never doing that, right? Shut up! Something is up with the ice cream, guys. And I know nothing about it, that's why I'm asking you. Ice cream is supposed to melt, especially if someone's running hot water on it. Something is going on out here with the ice cream, guys. And I'm gonna need you to check your ice cream, because I haven't had ice cream in a while since I've been seeing videos like this. We can't even enjoy ice cream anymore. Shut up! Seems like we might have to fall back from the ice cream for now, guys, because this is an ice cream cone that's not melting. Not just playing about, guys. Entertainment purposes only. Maybe the ice cream was so cold that it's having a hard time melting, right? I don't know what's going on with the ice cream. Let me know if you know. I'm out.
Check your ice cream seekers, man. I think if it says like dairy product, bro, that's not real legit ice cream, bro. It's just not, man. Y'all saw it was running under the hot water, not melting enough. Even a cone wasn't even reacted to the water, bro. Acting like it was plastic or something, man.
Travis kept performing and the concert kept going despite people screaming out for help, despite ambulances coming in to load dead bodies up. Some people were adamant, saying, well, at least I'm having a good time. And others have stayed silent because at least they were safe. What I believe is that the battleground between good and evil is psychological. What we're taught and what we want to believe is that people are one or the other. They are all good and they are all bad. But the truth is that inside of every single one of us runs a line down our heart that separates the good and the bad, and it is complex. We can't just ask the question for ourselves if we have the ability to go to the other side, but we have to start to ask about the people who we idolize, who we obsess over, who we are going to rush stage to just get 1 inch closer, if they themselves have already looked the other way and if they have crossed into that evil. And that may have you asking, for what? Well, the answer is for money, and I'm going to be talking about that in my part 2.
Big biggest mystery in the entire fossil record is the doubling of the human brain size over a period of 2 million years.
If we are 98.7% identical to simians, and there's only 1.3% differentiation, but you look at the simians, they have 48 chromosomes. We only have 46. Where did that change occur? Where did we get this new understanding? And how did we lose 2 chromosomes, even though we're 98.7% identical and behave just like them? There's been a change within our DNA and our structure.
The Anunnaki story is all about gold. The idea was that they were going to suspend gold particles in their atmosphere in order to protect their environment, and that they took us and they created us from the hominids. The reason why that's so interesting is because gold is useless 10,000 years ago. Why do you need gold? No one needs gold. If you're surviving, if you're a hunter-gatherer, gold means jack to you. Why is it the #1 method of currency throughout all human beings, all over the world?
Salt was what we used for currency in exchange for the gold. So where did the gold come? Why did we have an appetite for it if it wasn't placed into us?
The sheriff just came back and said there was no foul play in Nolan's well death. You shocked? You surprised? People, we need to understand what we are dealing with. This is Mississippi, not down south, but down south. It's just different down there. After this happened, I'm seeing so many videos of black people checking on black people that's hanging with white people. We don't gotta do that. They are trying to paint this picture like all white people are evil. That's not true. But where you live at is really important. Sometimes land can be cursed. Mississippi have a dark past when it comes to black people. So I will say that land is really marked. And the energy of these people, ancestors that was doing dumb shit to black people, it still exists on that land. You had to be careful where you live at. Every smile, every handshake, it's not from the heart. Like I said, the sheriff came out and said there was no foul play and all of them was questioned. So I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm not a cop. I'm not a detective. It's not my job to solve no one case. But it is my job to tell people that this shit will keep repeating because we are still following the same rituals our ancestors went through.
Why did nearly every ancient civilization on Earth build pyramids? Think about it. Egypt built pyramids, the Maya built pyramids, China built pyramids, Sudan built pyramids, Cambodia built pyramids. Even civilizations separated by oceans and thousands of years seemed obsessed with the exact same shape. And that's where the mystery begins. Because according to history, many of these cultures never met, never traded, and in some cases, didn't even know the others existed. Yet somehow they all arrived at the same idea, the pyramid. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid was built around 2500 BC. At nearly the same time, the ancient city of Caral in Peru was constructing pyramids on the other side of the planet. Then there's Sudan, a country containing more pyramids than Egypt, and China has enormous pyramid tombs hidden near Xi'an, some as large as city blocks. But here's what makes it even stranger. Many of these pyramids were aligned with the stars, not with nearby cities, not with roads, the sky, almost as if ancient civilizations around the world were following the same blueprint, the same knowledge, or the same forgotten tradition. So the question is, did civilizations across the world somehow discover the same idea independently, or were they all inheriting knowledge from something much older?
Are y'all noticing this is happening a lot more often than it should be, and nobody is saying anything about this, y'all? There's so many people posting from different states and different countries posting the exact same thing, that their sky looking this eerie apocalyptic orange color, and they're saying it's from the wildfire that's happening in Canada. But I got something to show y'all.
Winley, what the is going on in Massachusetts right now? This is no filter. This is what it looks like in Massachusetts right now. And they're like, yeah, the air quality's fine, even though it smells like I'm standing next to a fire pit. They're saying that this is, no, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. What the actual fuck is going on?
Boston has like a yellow tint right now, naturally.
Bro, look at it.
Look at the sun. So interesting.
Bro.
It's like there's a filter.
And this is Canada.
It's bro. What the hell? I don't know if the camera's capturing it properly, but it's like yellow tinted, bro. Why has the air got tints on it, bro? It is crazy. Yo, broski.
Now, in the midst of all these wildfires, people are also noticing from multiple states that the sun changed colors as well too. It's a red sun out there.
In the sky, and the sun looks red, kind of like when there's a sunset or sunrise. But usually, when it's high up like that, it's not like red like that. It's a little more cooler looking, especially with clouds. So I just think it's a little kind of strange.
It's not strange, bro. There was a different sun out there, y'all. They just turned sun off, and now the sun is acting up.
Yeah.
We changing timelines? Look.
The sun is legit red right now.
See it flickering? Y'all see that?
Like, does anyone know why?
Here's a better video, y'all. Look, it looks like there's another one behind it. Y'all see that? Look at that. How is it changing like that, bro? What?
Okay, I was about to start recording, and I look back, and the sun is red. Look. Can you see that? I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, it's red.
Yeah.
What is that?
My buddy sent me this picture from Michigan, bro. What is that? Doesn't it look like the Flash? It looks like the superhero, the Flash symbol. Is the great solar flash getting ready to happen? Is this what this, bro?
Say it, act like this normal.
Virginia.
Welcome to Virginia, baby.
That's not normal.
Nigga.
That's not normal.
This shit ain't normal, nigga.
Nah.
Look at the... What is that, the moon?
It's not.
No, that's the sun. Ain't no moon.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, look at that. Oh my god. Bro.
Wait, is that the sun still?
Yes. And look at this giant object passing in front of the moon the other day, y'all. Why don't we know anything about this? Why does it look like the Nickelodeon ship? The Nickelodeon blimp, y'all know what I'm talking about? Just look at these videos for yourself, man. Does it really look like it's from Wildfires, man? Or is this total recall? But nonetheless, y'all, did any of you guys experience this, man? Let me know that in the comments below, man. The shift is here. I've been telling y'all, man. Let's continue to get...
You won't believe what this man was caught doing with a corpse. 46-year-old Randall Bird was caught doing inappropriate things to a corpse while he was working his shift as a security guard at the Banner University Medical Center in Phoenix. Randall's job was to bring deceased bodies to the hospital's morgue and slip them into the freezer. But during his shift, coworkers walked in on him and caught Randall inside the freezer with his zipper down, his uniform looking messy, and a body bag open. He was seen almost on top of the 79-year-old deceased woman, and when the workers walked in, he quickly tried to cover the body. The workers said that Randall looked so sweaty and nervous when they caught him, and his excuse was that he had a medical emergency and he almost passed out. His co-workers did not believe a single word and reported the incident. When Randall was interviewed by police a few days later, he basically just said the same story and said that he couldn't remember much of what happened. But not long after, investigators found his DNA on the woman's body, which proves that Randall was in fact doing what we all assumed. He was arrested and now faces multiple charges.
Sick man.
Wish you never knew. Scariest mythical creatures in the world.
Let's check them out.
From Japan. Tick Tick.
Tick Tick.
From Puerto Rico. Chupacabra. From the ocean. CTHULU.
Thought I was gonna say mermaids or sirens. That's surprising.
From Arizona. Skinwalker. From the ocean. Mermaid.
That makes sense.
From Canada. Wendigo.
Here's some things we were taught growing up that just aren't true. Piranhas, in fact, will not just gobble you up the second you step into the same water as them. They only go after, like, dead things or if you have an open wound. In fact, there have been a total of 0 recorded deaths via piranha. Dogs' mouths are not cleaner than humans' mouths. I feel like this is common sense. Have you seen the shit that dogs eat? A simple Google search will tell you that this isn't true. Lie detectors don't detect lies. They detect if you're stressed, which could mean you might be lying, but it's not a real indication. It's not accurate at all. Fish have memories. Pretty good ones too. They can remember faces and sounds and other fish for up to months at a time, which is better than most of you guys. There was this one study where a catfish was actually able to remember the sound of a human announcing like it's food time up to 5 years after it first heard it. Being cold is not going to increase your likelihood of being sick. Okay, humans made this correlation because when it's cold outside, we tend to go inside, huddle up all together with other humans where more germs can spread around.
These facts are guaranteed to blow your mind.
Humans are the only animals on Earth that like spicy food. Potato chips are responsible for the most weight gain out of any other food. The average termite can live over 100 years. By chewing gum after a meal, it reduces your chance of heartburn. Dogs can sniff
disturbing facts that will ruin your day. Firstly, you know these vacuum toilets that are most commonly used on planes and cruise ships? Well, there have been many reports of them sucking the rectum out of people when they flush. Next, this is just disappointing. 1 in 4 Americans actually believe that the sun rotates around the earth. Now, studies show that the average person will wait 5 months of their lifetime for red lights to turn green. You know when you're watching a movie or TV show and you hear these laugh tracks in the background? Well, most of them were recorded in the 50s, so you're hearing dead people laugh. This will ruin your childhood. The Red Power Ranger, Ricardo Medina, pleaded guilty to killing his roommate with a sword. Finally, you are now closer to death than you were when you started this video.
That Red Ranger Power Pack, man, got to me, man. I remember as a kid, bro, watching the Power Rangers, bro. It's like, there's a sad story behind, like, each of these freaking, like, child actors, man. It's like they hit their peak and it's just downhill for them. You know, it wasn't a child actor, man, or, you know, people in that position. That's crazy, man. Red Power Ranger? What the what's going on, man?
How rare is your body? Let's find out. About 80% of people have stretch marks, and tons of different things can cause these, like pregnancy, weight gain, growth spurts, weightlifting, etc. Anything that stretches the skin. And new stretch marks usually start out as bright red, but will fade to a light pink or white over time. Only 5% of adults have never had chickenpox. Most people who have had chickenpox will be immune to chickenpox for the rest of their life. However, it remains inactive in nerve tissues and can reactivate later in life, causing shingles. Only about 2% of people have something called aphantasia, and this is a phenomenon where you're not able to visualize imagery in your head. And this is a little example where if you're asked to visualize a red square and you close your eyes and think, what do you see? A red square, slightly, or do you see nothing? Only 3% of people have something called scoliosis, which is just an unnatural curve in your spine. And doctors still don't know what causes the main type of scoliosis.
The most uncomfortable products ever designed. Firstly, this Cinderella car seat was designed to make children quieter in the car, and it looks normal when there's a small child in it. But as they get older, you have to adjust the headrest. And to do that, it ends up stretching her neck like this. This Minion shampoo bottle looks like it would be good for kids, but for the strawberry scented one, they decided to make it bright red, so it looks like blood is coming out of his eyes. Next, a Spider-Man tissue box sounds like a good idea, and we all know the main Spider-Man pose. But whoever decided to put that on the Kleenex box clearly didn't think it through, because it looks like you're pulling tissues out of Spider-Man's butt. Lastly, in the Children's Hospital, they tried making a pathway that looks like a red ribbon, but instead, it looks like a path left by someone dragging a bloody body.
They really didn't think that through.
Didn't know. Over 80% of the plants in Tomorrowland are edible, and it used to be 100% of the plants were. There's kale, artichokes, lemons, and a lot of different fruits and vegetables, and even herbs and spices. You are never more than 30 steps away from a trash can at any point in any Disney park. The American flags that Disney flies are fake. A lot of them are missing a star or a stripe, so they don't have to follow the codes of flying at half-mast and taking them down. A one-day ticket to Disneyland in 1955 cost $1. And on top of that, rides did have a fee of about 25 to 35 cents. There is no gum sold inside any Disney parks in order to help keep the parks clean. Since Disney World opened, adults have lost over 1.6 million pairs of glasses, and on top of that, every year they find over 6,000 cell phones and 3,500 cameras.
Could you guys imagine, man, that the freaking tickets at Disneyland were freaking $1, bro? I don't know, they probably, right? You know, nowadays, man, it costs $100, bro. Possibly if you get those passes and everything, a bundle package would probably cost over $1,000, man, so that was just a great price back then, man. We ain't never getting a dollar a ticket to Disneyland ever again, bro. Fun fact, I've still never been, so I don't even know what it's like there.
Something that we have not talked about yet is mermaids. Are they real? Is there any proof of them? Let me tell you. While digging deep on the internet, I found this following video that I'm about to show you. Now, it's very busy and loud, so you need to focus to see what I'm trying to show you. As you can see, we could very, very clearly see a hand of a person that's attached at the knuckles violently fighting to get out of the net that they were caught in. You don't just catch humans in the water.
Right.
Now look at this hand. This is what scientists think the hands of mermaids look like. And I'm going to show you the hand from the video, and you can see that they're the same. Not to mention, there are a lot of pictures of dried up mermaid skeleton that are unexplained. Now what we technically think mermaids are beautiful women and men who swim around all day and sound magical and just safe, happy creatures. But that's not what people think it is. They're thought to look weird, alien-like. And when they make sounds, they screech. They don't sing. They're scaly all over, not just their tail. And they're just overall harsh, evil creatures. I personally believe they exist because 70% of the sea is undiscovered. So how do we think we know they don't? Tell me what you think.
She was spitting, bro. If 7% of the sea is undiscovered, man, you can't rule them out.
We've made it to part 80 of some of the creepiest submechanophobia things I've ever seen in my life. Why do they keep doing things like this? This is the Awakening statue, and it's in Maryland. This is how big it is for scale, just in case you were wondering. It used to be at this little park area until they moved it to the beach, really close to the water. You can go down there and touch it and visit with it, but when it floods, because that place is pretty common for flooding, it is completely, almost completely underwater, and it looks like this gigantic giant is sprouting from the earth. No. Dang, for free? But yeah, that's what it looks like where it is now, and the water, whenever the tide gets really high and it floods a little bit, this thing goes from like normal scary to absolutely get me the heck out of here, I hate this. No. That's what it looks like. Would you be able to go anywhere near that thing when it's flooded or when it's not flooded or any way that it is? I would not be able to even look at it from far away. I would cry. It is made from aluminum, which makes it a little less scary. I can just look at it like a big soup can.
Why is no one talking about
Interesting.
This creepy backstory? This is La Pascualita. The mannequin has been in the window of this Mexican bridal shop since the 1930s. Now look, mannequins weren't even that detailed. Customers noticed that you could see fingernails, eyebrow hairs, and veins on the mannequin. By the way, we're making a Reese's milkshake. Out of all three of these flavor ice creams, which one has to go? Vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry? Comment down below. I want to see if y'all got good taste or not. Now back to
Strawberry.
Yo, this is where it gets crazy. The owner of the shop had a daughter named Escuela, and in the 1930s, she was going to get married. So of course, being the owner of a bridal shop, the owner went all out for her daughter, buying her the best dress and setting up everything. Sadly, a scorpion had gotten the daughter's dress, and she sadly didn't survive the sting. People say the exact next day a mannequin appeared at the front of the shop, and she looked strangely similar to the daughter. Even the dress looked similar. Aw, snap. Look at that. Ooh, sweet baby diabetes. Later, the owner did not want to lose her daughter, so she dipped her in wax to preserve her forever. Do you think this is the shop owner's daughter? And make sure to hit that follow, because tomorrow's story is insane compared to this one.
Think it is.
Scariest
Matches
urban
up.
legends from every US state. This shows some of the most popular urban legends from every single state across the USA. And as you probably guessed, in this series we're going through all of them. From the most normal ones to the really dark, disturbing ones. So let's kick off part 2. Oh, this is creepy. So the legend goes, a long time ago in New York, in a children's hospital. Children would be in this hospital, and at night, obviously, they'd basically just be left alone. The legend was about someone called Cropsy. Cropsy has a hook for a hand and lurks around at night in the children's hospital. He stalked and unalived these people who he found walking in the corridors at night. Apparently, everybody who goes to camp in upstate New York knows about this legend, so let me know if that's true. This is where things get even more disturbing. A documentary was posted which basically confirmed this was real. Convicted killer and kidnapper Andrew Rand. That's him there in the middle, and it was real. That follow button is going to get crazy, and let me know which state you're from.
Damn, they confirmed it was real and all that?
Facts that
People
will
gotta be
blow your
careful.
mind.
Humans are the only animals that enjoy spicy foods. Potato chips cause more weight gain than any other food. It's impossible to hum while you hold your nose. The least interesting day in history was April 11th, 1954. Aldous Huxley and C.S. Lewis died on the same day as JFK. Bigger forks lead you to eat less. The longest living insect is the termite. Chewing gum after a meal reduces heartburn. Dogs can smell cancer. Bees can detect bombs. Follow and comment below which fact blew your mind.
Got a bomb detector in bees, bro?
Around the world.
Using.
Today we'll be looking at something called the Yaramayahu of indigenous Australian mythology. The Yaramayahu are described to be small frog-like humanoids that have reddish skin. They sit up in the trees and wait for somebody to walk by. They'll jump down and consume the victim's blood like a vampire, and then after consume the entire victim and go to sleep. They'll then regurgitate the victim and repeat the process of consuming them. Eventually the victim will turn into a Yaramayahu. If you're walking around in Australia, make sure you keep your eyes up on the trees.
Okay. Noted when you go in Australia.
Let's talk about another one of the most interesting and terrifying Japanese urban legends, Tsukima Onna, or the Girl in the Gap. If you've ever been alone in a room and still felt like something was watching you, it was probably Tsukima Onna. This Japanese spirit is said to live between the gaps of physical objects, for example underneath furniture and in between the cracks of open doors, basically anywhere that there's a little bit of space. Some people say this is also a metaphor for her living between two worlds, the human world and the spirit world. It is best to avoid interacting with her if you think that she's hiding in your room, because if you lock eyes with her, she will ask you if you want to play a game of hide and seek, and if you lose the game, she will drag you back down to hell with her. Unfortunately, the only way to get rid of her is to beat her at her own game. Otherwise, you will always feel as if she's watching you for the rest of your life. Press share, copy link, follow for more, and comment what country I should do next.
Interesting.
You never knew. You have tiny skin light that come out at night and do the thing on your face. A 10-second kiss on the lips can pass on 80 million bacteria, some unknown to scientists. Good thing you don't have to worry about that. Certain kinds of tumor called teratoma can cause your body to grow teeth and hair around it. When Eskimo babies have colds, their mother sucks the snot out of their nose with their mouth. Yeah, people who stay up at night are more likely to become psychopaths compared to those who sleep early. So please go to sleep now.
So if you're a night owl, man, you got that treat, you're gonna be a psycho. We got the night owls and the seekers, man. A whole Pennywise house. I wouldn't stay there. You couldn't pay me enough money to stay there.
Question that has long plagued police is, what do we make of the McGrady tapes? Well, back in like 2001, at a Blockbuster in McGrady, North Carolina, a car drove by in the parking lot and just dropped a tape outside of the building. So employees saw that and they went outside to get the tape and they were like, who would drop a tape off like that? Until they looked at it and they noticed something was wrong. This was the tape that was recovered from the parking lot and it was completely unlabeled. According to the story, they took it to the back room where they were able to play it back, and this was the footage they found. It is a 40-minute video of a person's face looking under what looks like a bathroom stall, and it's completely silent, like straight, uncut 40 minutes of this, and the cameraman just breathing heavily while they videotape this. Management turned the tape over to police, and the strangest part is that a search canine signaled that the tape had traces of human decomp on it. To this day, whoever's behind the McGrady tape is a mystery.
McGrady tapes.
It's caught on camera.
Chilling.
What do you think?
That's the main question.
Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do it with me, ready? Just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, man, okay? We're good, man. I appreciate it. Deep breath. So firing. I mean, were you doing this? I was just fucking. But when you fire on her, I was just. What you did hit her? I stopped. Okay. I don't. Going to the camp. She fell up. I just kept trying and rolled up and stepped and then
Horror movie facts that will.
He wasn't even making sense.
Part 2, Coraline. The soundtrack in the movie is a French children choir singing. Surprisingly, they aren't actually singing in French. They're singing in a completely made-up language. If you look on the wall of the dining room in the other mother's home, you'll see 3 portraits of silhouettes. These likely represent the 3 ghost children that appear later in the film. In the normal world, the boy is sad and has dropped his ice cream. But in the other world, he's happy and his ice cream is perfect. On the back of the chair above where Coraline's doll sits features a small flower-shaped pattern. And this flower is almost exactly like the one on the back of Jack Torrance's chair in The Shining. The Welcome Home cake features a double loop on the O. And according to Graphology, a double loop on the lowercase o means that the person who wrote it is not telling the truth. But on the cake, there is actually only one double loop, meaning that Coraline is welcome, but she is not home.
Breaking news, there has been a major update on the unaliving of Tophia Chu's brother, as authorities have now revealed exactly what happened that day, and trigger warning, it is very hard to listen to. This is the vehicle Tophia, her brother, and her mom were in. They were parked in a church parking lot. They're not sure if they were sleeping or just parked there, but around 3 or 4 a.m., a suspect walked up to the vehicle. They don't know if this was targeted or if he was just trying to take the car. He ended up cueing her brother and her mom and walked around to the passenger side of the vehicle and tried to pull out Tophia, who was able to get away. The suspect then got in the vehicle and started fleeing with her brother, who was unalived, and her mom, who was injured in the backseat, both still in the vehicle, and then he ended up crashing into a black Jeep that you see here. The driver of the Jeep then got into a confrontation with the suspect, and a security guard nearby heard the commotion, walked over, things escalated, and the suspect was fatally puked. Tophia's mother was then rushed to the hospital and is believed to be in stable condition, but unfortunately her brother did not make it, and neither did the suspect. Tophia is also physically okay, but obviously very hurt from all of this. Rest in peace to her poor brother, and prayers to her mother, and as any new information comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
This is one case that still haunts me. The story of the disappearance of Jason Jolkowski is one of the weirdest things that you'll ever read about, and it's haunting because to this day, this mystery has never been solved. So let's take a look at it. So this is Jason Jolkowski. He was born in 1981 and lived in Omaha, Nebraska all his life. And this story takes place in 2001. So on Wednesday, June 13th, 2001, Jason was called into work early. So initially, Jason planned on walking to his job, which was 4 miles away, due to the fact that his car was in a repair shop that day. But he eventually made plans for a friend to meet him at a high school that was nearby. So this high school, Benson High School in Omaha, Nebraska, was only half a mile from Jason's house. Literally an 8-block walk, and that's where his friend was supposed to meet him. So just take a look at this photo. This is the exact route that Jason was going to take to the high school. It's only a 10-minute walk, and keep in mind, he was about to make this walk in the middle of the morning in broad daylight, in a city like Omaha, Nebraska, where crimes like disappearances and murders don't really happen all that frequently. So at 10:45 a.m. that morning, a neighbor saw Jason helping his younger brother with the trash outside of his home, and at some point right after that, he left to go on this walk to go meet his friend. And during this walk, Jason vanished off the face of the earth. So to this day, no trace of Jason has ever been found. There were no remains ever recovered. Nobody has seen anybody that's ever looked like Jason. Nobody reported seeing somebody being abducted on the day that he went missing. Nobody even reported seeing anything out of the ordinary. It's as if he simply vanished literally into thin air. They even checked the security camera footage from the school that he was supposed to be walking to that day, and the security camera videos showed that Jason never arrived. It was somewhere on that half-a-mile walk when he vanished. Now, Jason's parents have suggested that they believe he may have been abducted and killed, but with no body ever having been found, that theory is just really hard to prove. And yeah, it's been over 20 years since this happened, and no trace of Jason has ever been found. That's why it's a case that will haunt me. I mean, it's just scary to think that you could be making a half-a-mile walk in the middle of the day, in the middle of your city, and go missing, and no one will ever even find a piece of your clothes.
The Voyager had a camera that could zoom right into the Earth. What year would it be?
It would be 2016, because the Voyager is 18 light hours away. Isn't that concerning?
So did y'all see that the Catholic Church removed a priest as an exorcist because he said UFOs and all the attention around aliens is actually demons? So Monsignor Stephen Rosetta said the following about the alien activity, and I quote with all this. He said, "As an exorcist, I wanted to raise the danger, and that is that demons like to hide. They don't want us to know what they're doing because they're more effective when we don't realize it. They can kind of get into your head, you know, and manipulate things in the world to influence us to do evil. It's my personal belief that probably many, if not most, of the UFO sightings are in fact demons." And after he said all of this, the Catholic Archbishop of Washington, D.C., Cardinal Robert McElroy, removed him as an exorcist. He also cut ties with the nonprofit that same exorcist, or ex-exorcist, ran. And he said that the statements linking UFOs to demonic presences and the center's recent use of social media gravely undermine the church's very precise teachings on the devil, demons, and exorcism. You know, and I've had multiple people in my comments say that aliens are actually demons, and I don't normally touch religion, but I still thought this would be a good one to talk about.
That isn't the first time we heard that theory, man. A lot of people have been coming up with that theory lately that aliens were actually demons hidden in disguise. So the priest lost his job by saying that. I wonder why. Is there some truth to that, man? Credence to his theory?
So then I step out, watch, look. Right there. Boom.
They came out of nowhere.
They just appeared.
Damn.
So like there was like nothing on the floor right now?
Well, you realize you're making a very bold claim, which is you're saying that embodied consciousness existing inside bodies is the exception to the rule.
That's what the mathematics that I'm working on, and I should mention my colleagues, Chetan Prakash and Robert Prentner and Manish Singh and Manifa Hermanson and others that I'm working with. It's the work that we're doing. So it's not just me. It's a whole group of us that and this new trace logic that we're working on really it just. When you look at it and ask, okay, what are bodies? How do they appear in this logic of experiences? Body embodiment is very, very small. But of course, there's a lot to explain about this whole trace logic because it's a mathematical foundation that's entirely non-physical. It's all about consciousness. So we'll probably need to go into the notion of consciousness and observation and why we need to start science there and so forth.
I want to get into the trace logic and sort of flesh that out. But you would also have to say that you'd expect predictions and observations of non-human disembodied intelligence that's disembodied in a way that's adaptive beyond humans all over the universe. The universe would be teeming with life that is more advanced than humans and also doesn't have, traditional bodies. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, the mathematics seems to indicate that, again, embodiment is the exception, not the rule.
Mm-hmm.
And that our particular kind of view of the world, the kind of, I'll call it a headset, the virtual reality headset that we're using for our embodiment is one of the more trivial kinds of headsets. So we have often the opinion of ourselves that we're pretty much near the top of the
food chain
here on Earth anyway, as it certainly looks like it for most of us, and that we're the most intelligent things around and so forth. But when I look at the mathematics of this trace logic, it indicates that our headset is one of the cheapest, most restrictive possible, and that there are all sorts of variations that are far more interesting and complicated than what we've got.
So we ran the wrong headset, bro. Got it. Let me find out, man. We got some aliens around me right now, bro. Listen to our freaking video, man. Interesting theory, bro. But we gotta do to upgrade our headsets though, man, so we can actually see them around us.
Theory that all of the people who are dreaming about mall worlds are also people who were formerly in gifted and talented programs in school. And a lot of weird stuff went on in these programs.
What you mean?
A lot of people remember hearing tests. Headphones were put on our heads and weird little tones were played.
I remember this.
So the hearing test, pink drink, so a little couple pink stuff that we were supposed to drink. A lot of people like, well, that was just mouthwash, but was it? A lot of kids remember being taken off campus to like weird locations.
I wasn't taken off campus.
That's good. But people will say that Mall World is implanted in the heads of children who were in this GATE program. Because GATE was like a CIA training program, essentially, or a screening program.
Whoa.
Shame on Netflix, because they just dropped this Michael Jackson verdict documentary, and it just feels like they're trying to make people hate Michael Jackson all over again. Because if Michael Jackson was really this monster they tried to paint him off as, then why does it feel like they left stuff out? For example, they show Gavin Arvizo saying, "Michael told me, if you love me, you'll sleep in the bed." But they cut out the part where Michael said he slept on the floor. Now my thing is, if you genuinely believe Michael did it, why cut that part out? Why not show the whole thing? And here's my problem with documentaries like this. They don't just tell you what happened, they tell you what they want you to think happened. I have always believed that Michael was mentally still a child. The guy literally built a theme park in his house. He had a zoo. You can even just listen to the way that he talks during his interviews. And I know people are gonna say, well, it's weird for a grown man to be around many kids. Okay, then where were the parents? Because nobody ever talks about the fact the parents were allowing the kids to stay with Michael in the first place. Then you've got the timing of this documentary. Michael starts being celebrated again. A whole new generation is rediscovering him. And suddenly we're doing this all over again. Now look, you don't have to agree with me, but after watching this documentary, I can't help but feel like they're trying so hard to convince people that Michael was a monster, while the actual monsters in Hollywood somehow never get documentaries written about them. Just saying.
Nobody talks about the time when young Leo DiCaprio had some wild theories.
This is confidential, but the Mona Lisa here isn't really the Mona Lisa.
So over 30 years ago, DiCaprio reveals why he thinks the Mona Lisa in the Louvre is fake.
Supposedly some guys really stole it and it's like a replica because they have it like this behind this little thin piece of glass, and I'm like, you know, I could have just gone in there and taken it home, put it under my jacket.
Then Leo connects the dots in the funniest way possible.
But I'll believe it just for the sake that, you know, I have the same name as Da Vinci.
Moments ago, we learned aliens have visited Earth, and they include bipedal aliens, meaning aliens with 2 feet, and plasmoids, which are blobs of energy, according to a high-ranking military whistleblower. This high-ranking military whistleblower also says he was getting information from spies, American spies, about other countries retrieving crashed UFOs. At one point, this high-ranking military member met with a congressional committee under top-secret conditions, and a congressman unsuccessfully tried to interrupt the meeting. Bureaucrats also tried to retaliate against this one specific high-ranking military whistleblower after he testified about aliens to Congress. Donald Trump has ordered the declassification and release of the UFO files, and that began last month on May 8. We are expecting more to come out as the year goes on.
My question is, like, why are they like slowly just releasing the alien, the UFO files, like, I guess month by month? It seems like what they're doing. Why not just release it all at once, drop it all at once, so we could all scour through the files, man, see for ourselves, bro. And we have it's like slowly feeding us, slowly dripping it out, man, instead of just handing us the information. You talking about alien forms with balls of energy? Bro, there's so many freaking alien forms coming out, man. We can't keep up with all of them. Regular painting. So they're underneath the paintings, those x-ray pictures? Right in front of our face, man.
This is a robot factory where the robots are building themselves. It's the brand new NEO facility by 1X in the Bay Area. And you can see the robots walking around helping the human workers to build more robots. It's pretty wild. Now 1X factories are super unique in that their supply chain is vertically integrated. They're making nearly all their own parts, the actuators, the motors, the limbs, AI models, everything in-house. So around this entire factory, you've literally got blocks of raw aluminum that turn into arms and legs. Now the interesting part about this factory is why they wanted to vertically integrate in the first place. And the reason was to emulate Ford in the early days of car manufacturing. If they could control everything themselves, from the raw materials to the arms and legs, they can speed up experimentation and reduce iteration cycles. And this is how they've been able to stay one of the most competitive companies in the space. Now 1X is also different in that their flagship robot, NEO, is designed for maximum safety with humans. Their unique tendon system creates super gentle movements, and the robots are covered in this really soft fabric, all designed to minimize potential injury when interacting in the home. Now 1X will be the first humanoid company to start shipping robots to people's homes this year, and they'll be packed up and delivered in these megapods. They're currently on sale on their website for $20,000, and their goal in this vertically integrated factory is to produce 10,000 robots this year. Now we are still in the very early innings of what the future of robotics, especially humanoids, is going to look like. Whether it's Optimus, Figure, 1X, or Unitree in China, it feels like we're about to take another massive leap forward in all of robotics. And that leap will be recursive manufacturing, where the robots start building themselves.
Robots are building themselves, man. What happens if they put like a secret code in them that's gonna allow them to revolt in the future, man? And we just not picking up on it now, bro. That's my theory, man. If I walk into somebody's house, man, they got a NEO robot, I'm out. Simple as that.
This is the world's largest conspiracy theory iceberg. And in this TikTok, we're gonna go through each and every single one. Moving on, we got the McFly code. This theory basically states that Back to the Future and all of its sequels predicted the future. Basically what the theory says is that by hiding images within the movie, they were able to basically warn the future or maybe set the future in motion. But what is believed is by putting these things in the movie, they actually set course human history to make these things happen. Virtual reality, flat screen TVs, Google Glass, holograms. And some people think that this has a much bigger meaning to it. But as you know, we got a long way to go, cuz.
The World Cup opening ceremony. Now, this is what I call art. Okay. I see a lot of celebrities do that. Not bad at all. I heard it means diamonds are forever. Not sure what's going on over here, guys. Maybe that's her favorite shape. My favorite shape is circles, and hers must be triangles. A lot of people do it. It's cool. It's nothing to worry about. I used to play with blocks. They used to come with rectangles, triangles, and stuff like that, guys. Maybe they showing us something. Maybe they not. Maybe it's a part of the rehearsal, part of the show, part of the dance that they came up with. This is cool stuff. They always show us at the big events, the big concerts, and things like that, guys. So it's been going on for a while now. Nothing to worry about. Is what celebrities and, you know, famous people do. There was actually a lot of interesting things going on at that opening ceremony at the World Cup. But you guys got to see it for yourself to see all the good stuff. You're missing out. There's a few things going on over there that have nothing to do with soccer. But I guess it's popular and it's just a cool thing to do. Shh! Shut up! You know what time is it, guys? And it's time for you to go watch it because this video is for entertainment purposes only, guys. Go check it out. The World Cup 2026. Let's go. I don't know. Who knows? Let me know. I'm out.
I said, but that the World Cup, man, on the world stage is going to expose some secret messages. So I'm not surprised. You've seen people do that. Freaking, you know, what the celebrities do that freaking hand signal all the time, man. The fact that it was at the World Cup, biggest event that's going on right now in the world. What do you think? Okay, he's the Hulk, bro.
Oh, what the hell? Okay.
He different.
You talk about masonry. This is masonry right here. This is equivalent to this. And this, when you read the Bible, when it describes the beast, is everything. The 4 crowns, the mouth of the lion, the 10 lions, the body of the leopard. When they describe the beast in Revelation, this is what they talk about. They talk about the British Empire. The little horn, the knight of the order, the unicorn, the eyes of man, you know what I mean? The crown of heaven, the 4 beasts. It's all there. So, to show you, he put that there. See what I'm saying? They go to Tunnel. They go to Earth. They go Crowley. That's Aleister Crowley. He's showing you. Wow. Here go the little black baby holding the skull of the Triceratops. Wow.
Which showed the interdimensional beings from the Miami Mall incident. Not only showed 2 seconds of these beings before the phone had malfunctioned, but in these 2 seconds you can clearly see what these beings look like. Look at this. Then the phone just stopped working. This was the only recording they was able to get.
That's the only recording? Need some more.
Hell, here we go. This guy's convinced that Elon Musk is one of those, and he says, check out his eye right there. Uh-oh. Is that what we think it is, or is that just like a really bad case of conjunctivitis? Y'all tell me what you think. Hold on, where is it? Right there. Ooh, he's convinced. Y'all tell me what you think in the comments.
What I have been shown is that the negative extraterrestrials that have been a very distorted force in the enslavement of humanity have been, and this is the most recent information, have ran simulations, projection models to try to distinguish if there's any possibility of them altering the anomaly that they're seeing, which is this incredible force of evolution that's happening in the collective frequency. And so they were doing these projected models of, if they did this, could they distort this anomaly? Could they stop it? And then what I've been told is they've determined that within 19 years, the certain factions of reptilian races won't be able to actually exist in the frequency and be alive in this energy. And so they've come up with this evacuation plan of sorts, where some are just leaving now and others have to leave within specific times. Some of them are, I don't know where they're going, I just know they're leaving. And recently, one of the most beautiful things that I've seen, that they've shown to me, that's very specific to this now moment, is
oh, so they're packing up and leaving. Good, bro. Leave, reptilians, we don't want you here, man.
I was out here in the yard just working, and this just bit me. Here's a picture of it.
The hell is that?
I don't know what that is. It looks like a mosquito that's been taking steroids. I'm at a loss for words. I've never seen anything like that. If you know what it is, please tell me. Am I gonna die? That's all I need to know.
I have no clue what that was, man, Seekers, but let me tell you something. That wasn't no damn mosquito. If it was juicing, bro. Man. Why do freaking new bug species is now just being discovered in the year 2026, bro?
This woman right here is going viral because she hit somebody's car and didn't want to leave her insurance information. We about to watch this video. Let's look at it and y'all let me know what y'all think about it.
She just hit this vehicle here, and she doesn't want to leave her insurance information because she says that there's no damage. it's the right thing to do. If someone did it to your car, you would want them to leave information also. And then scrapes I have on this car for probably because you make turns.
Because you hitting people.
Damn, it happens when I'm parked somewhere.
Channel on Karen
Because
Crown.
you can't drive off my ass. Hey, bitch, leave your fucking
Oh my
insurance
gosh.
information or I'm.
That's insane. I don't know why she just went off like that. I mean, I get it. You know, people go through things. I understand it. I most definitely understand it. But I don't understand why she just went off like that. Because at the end of the day, it wasn't her vehicle. I get it. I most definitely get the principle of it. I most definitely do. But it's not your vehicle. You can't control. That's the thing that people don't understand. You cannot control what other people do. You can't. If you gonna call the cops, call the cops. If you not, leave the lady alone. Y'all let me know who's wrong in this situation though. I don't know. I'm just saying I'm not going that hard if that ain't my business. That's all I'm saying. I can follow for more.
People are going wild over this Mandela effect. About what? So a man posted that he made a commercial for Doritos. The whole internet is going crazy because this commercial never made it to TV. Okay. But everybody remembers his commercial being played and seen.
Are those Doritos?
Yeah.
Can I have one?
Yeah, right. That'll happen the day the pigs can shoot lasers out of their.
Because for me, I feel like I've seen it on television. Okay. And specifically, Canadians have seen it.
Wait, but in the actual one that came out, did the lasers get shot?
No. Oh, dead ass?
Hey, Ralph, can I have a Dorito?
Sure, when pigs fly.
I remember that.
Hey, Ralph.
So theory is, in a different reality, his commercial got picked to play on TV. Yeah, but whatever happened, timelines changed, dimensions changed, and his commercial isn't out anymore.
There is one team that shouldn't be in the World Cup, but against all odds, they are. We're talking about a nation that has a smaller population than the attendance of single matches that have been played before. And while most describe their qualification as a miracle, others are calling it a scam. And here is why. You see, Curacao qualifying for the most competitive football tournament in the world shouldn't be possible for a number of reasons. Firstly is this Caribbean island is so small that you can literally drive from one end to the other in less than an hour. So the chances of finding world-class footballers here are close to zero. I mean, India has 1.4 billion people to choose from, and yet they still have never participated. To make it crazier, Curacao didn't qualify for the World Cup in South Africa because their national team didn't even exist yet. It was only formed in 2011. Oh, and don't even get me started on budgets. Curacao as a whole is among the smallest economies in the entire world. Apple makes the entire nation's GDP in less than a week. I mean, just look at the vehicle they rocked up in to their farewell match. So by all measurements, this is an incredible achievement. But there's another side to this team qualifying that doesn't fit this fairy tale narrative. Because you might not know, but Curacao isn't even an independent country. They're technically an autonomous region within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. And have a guess at how many players on the 26-man squad were actually born in Curacao. 10? Half? The answer is 1. The rest mostly grew up in the Netherlands, one of the best footballing countries in the entire world. So after a national team was formed in 2011, Curacao systematically hunted down Dutch players, particularly the ones that had Curacao-born parents or grandparents, but were never able to crack the first team in the Netherlands, and then convince them to flip and play for Curacao. And that's why a lot of people are arguing that this feels like a loophole. But ultimately, what do you guys think? Is Curacao qualifying a miracle or a scam?
Y'all, I've been saying for like 2 years that a lot of these planes that people have been seeing and recording, especially during the daytime, are not actual planes. But I came across this creator, his name is NoobDad75, and he used his digital skills to prove what I've finally been saying. Look at this video.
This is a military, supposedly a military aircraft. We're gonna take a close look at this one today because nothing makes sense. Look at the one engine. It's like on top of the plane, supposed engine, right? Look at this thing. Okay, now, also pay close attention to this spot. A few frames here. Just look at this thing. No, clear that this isn't a plane, but now we're gonna put the filter on it. See how you can see the red? Now we're gonna go ahead and pause it, zoom in on this. You can see the hole. Adjust the level here. Yeah, right there. You guys see the hole, right? Now watch this. Look at this. Now you can see that it's actually like 4 to 5 different entities combined making up the craft. This is clearly NHI, non-human intelligence. This is not a plane.
He proved what I've been saying, because every time I see him, they almost look see-through, like shimmery, or the dimensions of the plane don't make sense and don't look right, or they're silent as crap, even though they look like huge passenger planes or huge military planes. They're super silent. You don't hear anything, even though they seem like they're really close. I don't know what the purpose is and with the chemtrails, if that's what they are, but I know that this is like the almost perfect camouflage. Put something in the sky that looks like something that they would see every day, a plane or a helicopter. And they almost would have got away with it if it wasn't for them pesky kids and their digital technology. So what y'all think? Let your girl know in the comments.
So what they saying? Planes. We got I guess our technology for planes and aircrafts from something else. They said it was an NHI, non-human entity. When that red started showing up all over the plane though, I was starting to see the bigger picture, man. Can't lie to you. I didn't even think about it like that, man. Until now.
For the love of God, I need help. I got home 2 hours ago, and there's a limb just floating in the air. And I've been all over Google. I can't figure out for the life of me what the hell is going on. It's just, hold on. It's just floating there. As far as I zoom in on.
Glitch in the Matrix.
But I can't figure it out. It's just floating.
Ow. I see no tree.
Talking about spider webs and all kinds of stupid crap. But it rained here like shortly after I got home, and it's still there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I just can't figure it out.
I have no idea how that's even happening.
Right under it. Like, what the? I need help. I done talked to one of my neighbors. He is dumbfounded. I've done thrown stuff at it, and I can't hit it. It just seems like it goes right through it. But what the crap? Look at it. Like, I ain't making nothing up. It's like 20 feet in the air. Maybe 30. I don't know. I ain't good at distance. But it doesn't make sense. Somebody help me. And please, for the love of God, don't let it be them stupid people that we live in a matrix. No, we don't.
So these are FBI agents, and they have screenshots of comments that the person recording this video made online. And what he asks him is shocking, and part of me wants to say, be careful what you say online, but I mean, you know, within free speech, like, there's a balance here, right? You got to hear this interaction, because I know a lot of you guys comment stuff like this. And is this setting an example, or did they really think this 29-year-old guy was about to do something crazy? Maybe, but just listen to this.
No. Any intention of harming Bill Gates? No. Good to go. Okay. Thank you. All right. That's it.
What the heck is this? Dude, this is crazy. I'm just letting you guys know. I love you guys, right? But you guys got to remember that we are basically at a point in our country where we don't know who's here to help us and who's not here to help us anymore. So I do this because I see it as our future children are going to basically need help. You know what I mean? They're not going to have the option of an American dream and like the next 2 generations.
The thing is, I can't get around, if I talk about ticks, you guys comment and say that damn owner of Microsoft, man. But I don't think, see, I don't think he's behind any of this stuff. I think he's the puppet front man. I think this is much bigger than, same with Elon Musk. Whatever people think Elon Musk's up to, I see these guys as nothing but characters fulfilling the plan and the agenda of the thing bigger and, you know, darker and more mysterious behind that. So I feel like we got guys like Trump and Musk and Gates as like the guys to point fingers at and get the public rallied, you know, riled up about. But I don't think they're behind any of this stuff. But regardless, it is shocking that they would show up to his house and ask him about commenting about the owner of Microsoft. Very strange. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Was this overstepping, or were they assessing the situation? And follow for more.
I thought you gotta be careful what you're saying online, man. People be saying some wild stuff, man. I just showed you, man. People are watching, bro. So if you say anything too out, they will come knocking at your door, bro. But like he said that he thinks Trump, Elon Musk, and them, they're all just, I guess, the front man, just really somebody behind the strings, pulling the, behind the scenes, you know, pulling their strings. Who would they be? It's the real question.
Thought one giant sinkhole tearing Indonesia apart was bad? Tell me why they just found 700 sinkholes opening up in Turkey. And y'all, these things are not small either. They're talking about 150 feet deep and 150 feet wide. These things can swallow up buildings. Look at that. Don't that look like an eye? What the? Look at this, y'all. These things are giant.
This is one of 700 sinkholes that have opened up across Turkey. As you can see, they're not small ones. These are gigantic. Here's another one that opened up right in the middle of a farmer's field. You can see how large this is. So here's a video of the vastness of some of these sinkholes that was put out by the London Daily Mail. And they look like meteor craters. They're so big. These are drones that are flying inside of the sinkholes throughout Turkey. Like I said, there are 700 of these. And apparently in the book of Numbers, they talk about sinkholes opening up like this sometime. And apparently this is happening all throughout Turkey very rapidly. I didn't really realize it was quite so.
And here's the crazy thing. I read up on Turkey, and apparently they have a whole bunch of underground cities there, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But do you guys believe this has anything to do with this? Because whenever we hear about this, y'all, we never hear the ending to this, right? We'll see this, so many people will videotape this, but we never hear anything related to this. Like, why? What is this? What is this, y'all? And then there's actual books that speak about this. When we see this, you know, this is like a bad omen, you know, but in a good way, right? The endings, beginnings. But yeah, y'all, giant sinkholes open up in Turkey. Not one of them, but 700, y'all. But yeah, something is definitely happening under there, y'all. The bunkers, y'all, remember? Let me know down in the comments, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue to get...
disturbing backstory to this children's book. This is Eric and Corey Richens, and they live together with their 3 young children in Utah. Eric had a renovation business, and Corey was a real estate agent. On March 4th of 2022, around 3:22 a.m., Corey called 911 after walking into her room, and according to her, she saw Eric lying on the ground, and he just looked cold to the touch. Once officers and paramedics arrived at the scene, and they did pronounce him dead. Corey stated that that night she made a vodka drink for her husband to celebrate that she had sold a house. She then stated she went to go lay down with one of her children in their room because they were having nightmares, and she returned to her and her husband's room around 3 a.m., and that's when she found Eric on the floor. An autopsy was done on Eric, and it revealed that he died after ingesting a fall. After Eric's death, Corey had published a children's book called Are You With Me? And this was catered towards children who were grieving after losing one of their parents. Investigators ended up looking through Corey's phone, and that's when they saw text messages between her and another person buying drugs for them to poison Eric. This was not the first time that Corey tried to poison Eric, just the other times she just did not succeed.
What?
Supposedly Eric wanted a divorce from Corey, and just a few weeks before his death, he has changed his will and life insurance policy. Eric had told his family many times, if something happens to me, it's my wife's fault. Corey was arrested and is currently sitting in jail waiting on trial.
The story that just continues to keep me up at night is what happened to the Yuba County Five. 1978, there were 5 men that were coming from a basketball game in Chico back down to Yuba City in the middle of the night. Now, all 5 of the men suffered from mild intellectual and psychological disability. Never gonna know why they did this, but for some reason, when they were on the highway, they got off of the highway and went onto a dirt back road in the Plumas National Forest. You know, is that for whatever reason, they eventually got out of their car and started walking on foot. And they vanished. Police eventually found that car and they expected something's wrong with this. Not the case. The car had gas and it was working fine, so why did they get out of it and walk through the woods? Nobody knew what happened to them until eventually somebody stumbled into this cabin. Quick before I get into it, if you want the full episode on this, you can listen to it on Creep Time, the podcast. Inside that cabin was the body of Ted Wire, and he had lost 80 pounds. Didn't make any sense because the cabin was full of food. Eventually they found everyone's body except for Gary Mathias.
This 74-year-old woman.
What the hell happened, man? Like they said, they just went on a dirt back road and just started walking. And they just found him in a cabin? Something more to that case, man, that we didn't know about. I have to deep dive into that one.
Woman robbed the bank after she was scammed of her life savings. This all happened in Ohio when Ann Mayers walked inside a credit union with a face mask on and demanded that the bank teller give her money while she threatened them with a gun. She ended up only taking $500 and then she got in her car and drove off. It only took police 2 hours to find Ann in her home, and when they arrived, she was gardening and pretended like she had no idea what was going on. She eventually admitted to the crime, and it turns out that Ann was recently scammed out of thousands of dollars online and owed a lot of money to family and friends. And because of that, she became pretty desperate and felt like her only way out of this mess was to rob a bank and thought that she would get away with it. Her sister also told police that Ann was going around telling family members that she was going to do this, but everyone thought that she was only joking. She was charged with aggravated robbery with a firearm and tampering with evidence and is being held on a $100,000 bond.
The UK's heaviest man, Jason Holton, has just passed away 1 week before his 34th birthday. His heartbroken mother said that he began overeating as a teenager after his father passed away, and at one point he was eating roughly 10,000 calories a day. Over the years, his weight increased to the point where his legs could no longer hold him, and after becoming bedridden, he didn't leave his room for a staggering 6 months. He said he would cry every day because he felt like he had imprisoned himself. At that point, he weighed around 317 kg, or for those who in the US, 700 pounds. In 2020, his organs began to shut down, and he had to be airlifted by crane from his mother's 3rd floor flat by a team of more than 30 firemen and engineers. When he got to the hospital, doctors said that they wanted to send him to London Zoo to get a heart scan because the only machine big enough to hold him was used by vets for very large animals. Luckily, thanks to his treatment at hospital, his condition began to stabilize. But 4 years later, he was rushed to hospital yet again. But this time, doctors said that they couldn't save him, and he had about a week left to live. The coroner's report stated on Tuesday he died from organ failure and obesity at only 33 years old.
This woman got 0 prison time after stabbing her boyfriend 108 times. In 2018, 26-year-old Chad O'Melia's life was savagely taken in his apartment in California by his girlfriend. 33-year-old Bryn Spetcher says that on this day, she was tricked by Chad into smoking a highly potent strain of marijuana, which caused her to go into psychosis. She says that she remembers immediately walking into the kitchen and grabbing several knives and stabbed her dog before going after Chad and taking his life. Authorities also said that it wasn't easy restraining Bryn and that the taser didn't even work on her. Now, Bryn's defense argues that she reacted this way because she only smoked less than 6 times in her life, which that combined with the high potent marijuana explains why she took her boyfriend's life. Bryn ended up only receiving just 2 years of probation, 100 hours of community service, and no prison time. This pastor...
That case, man, is freaking dangerous, man, because it kind of set a precedent, man, if somebody didn't, you know, take that type of, you know, material before or something like that, something happens, they just don't have no freaking responsibility to it, man. That's I said, just stay away from those type of things, seekers, because, you know, like drinking and doing that, man, activity, it could change you. It could change you to a whole different person. That's why me personally, I try to stay away from that stuff as much as I can, because that just ain't me.
Being accused of unaliving his own wife. This case is currently ongoing, but it's been so highly suggested, so this is what we know so far. On April 28th, Pastor John Paul Miller made the shocking announcement at the end of his church service that his wife asked everyone to leave quietly and not discuss his wife's death. Micah's family and friends do not believe this cause of death and have taken to social media with the hashtag Justice for Micah. John Paul also wrote Micah's obituary where he talked mostly about himself, not even Micah, who was the one that passed away. He also painted their marriage as like a perfect relationship, which is really odd considering that Micah filed for divorce and a restraining order against her husband only days before her passing. The weeks prior to Micah's passing, she was sharing on Facebook about abusive relationships and really just hinting that something wasn't right. A friend of Micah's has come out and confirmed that Micah told her that there was abuse in the marriage and also that church funds were being used for things not church related. And since more friends and family of Micah have come out with similar accounts. Also been some speculation that John Paul was having an affair, a years-long affair with this woman that he's been seeing in the days before and the days after Micah's death. That woman's husband also passed away in a really suspicious way, but that's just online speculation for right now. The investigation is currently ongoing, so hopefully we have answers really, really soon. But in the meantime, make sure to leave all your thoughts, theories, questions, and case suggestions in the comments for me.
The FBI caught a serial killer whose goal was to become a beast or an animal, specifically a bear/saber-toothed tiger hybrid. He had built himself a beast suit that he was using to maul his victims. When the FBI was originally looking at the bodies of the deceased, they thought it was a regular animal mauling. However, they soon realized it was fossilized skulls that were making these impressions. This led them to investigate Randall Tier, a man who was working at an anthropology department at a museum. He engineered the suit himself at his house, and he used parts of bones that he was stealing from his museum job. However, Randall Tier is also a victim in this situation, because when he was younger, he was seeing a psychiatrist for these urges that he was having to become a beast, but his psychiatrist was none other than Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter is far from an ethical psychiatrist and actually used psychic driving to make Randall Tier become the beast that he is today. He actively encouraged Randall's urges to become a beast and even gave him ideas on how to do this and how to be sneaky about it. And that's another reason why Hannibal Lecter is so evil, and I make this point all the time. Because Hannibal Lecter is not just a serial killer, he's not just eating people, he is actively incubating other serial killers as his career goes on as a psychiatrist.
How far would you go to get more guac at Chipotle? Because this man shot an employee at Chipotle over his serving size. On April 5th, 32-year-old Aaron Brown walked into a Chipotle in Southfield, Michigan to order some food and then insulted an employee when he wasn't served enough guac. Aaron was then seen on surveillance video going around the counter and packing his order with more guac until a worker knocked the guac out of his hand. That's when Aaron grabbed the 21-year-old worker and slammed him into the fridge and shot him in the knee. And while all the customers were terrified and ran out the restaurant, Aaron was seen calmly collecting his food and drove off without speeding. But Aaron didn't even make it too far, since this Chipotle was located across the street from the police station, and he was arrested. He was charged and was being held in the Oakland County Jail on a $20,000 bond, and all for some guac.
For some guac, really? People need to really think their priorities, man. When I be hearing cases like that, like over these small items, it really makes you think how like people just over exaggerate over the smallest things, man. Always amazes me, bro. Oh, some damn guac? Really? You can just ask for extra, man? Let's edit. Call it out like I see it. Damn, teleconnected too.
Think that you would be able to predict if someone in your life is or could become a serial killer? Is there a trait that they all have in common? Is there a recipe that creates a serial killer? Are they born evil? Is it a product of their environment? Some experts believe that there is a recipe, the McDonald's triad, which are 3 elements that are the key to predict if someone will grow up to become a serial killer. Being cruel to animals, setting
things on fire, and wetting the bed after the age of 5. Many experts also say that a serial killer's childhood holds the key and believe that nearly 100% of serial killers experience some kind of mistreatment in their childhood. I find really interesting because some of the most infamous serial killers, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Paul Bernardo, all claim to have come from really loving childhoods. Turns out that head trauma in adolescence could also be a big factor. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, David Berkowitz, son of Sam, and Fred West, and many others all experienced some kind of extreme head trauma in their adolescence that resulted in a change of behavior. So it's pretty well known that the majority of serial killers are white men between the ages of 25 and 34, but did you know a majority of serial killers are from the United States? By like a ridiculous majority. These statistics are so scary. For my astrology girlies, most serial killers are either Virgos or Geminis. New York is the state with the most serial killers, and most serial killers are born in November than any other month. Statistically, you are more likely to become a serial killer if you're the eldest child, and the least likely if you are an only child. Also more likely to become a serial killer if you are left-handed. What do you think makes a serial killer? Do you think it's genetics or a bad childhood, or just because they are left-handed? And is there anyone in your life that maybe you're looking at a little bit differently now? Let me know in the comments.
Missing American and Australian surfers were just found dead in a well in Mexico. Behind me is Callum and Jake Robinson and Jack Rode. They were missing for about a week, and then they were found dead in a well in Ensenada, Mexico. They all disappeared on April 28th. They were last seen in Baja California surfing. One of the family members got worried because one of the men were a type 1 diabetic and he hadn't communicated for a while, which was out of character for him. Then on Saturday, May 4th, all of the men were found inside of a well, and a 4th man was also found, but he was unrelated to these 3. Apparently, the 4th random man's body had been there for a long time, so I'm assuming this is kind of a reoccurring thing that was happening. They were killing people and stuffing them in the well here. Police believe these men were killed by thieves trying to steal things from their trucks, such as tires, catalytic converters, stuff like that. All 3 men were fatally shot and dumped inside of the well. And 3 men in connection with his death have been arrested. Names have not been released yet. And apparently this well was boarded up, making it nearly impossible to find. Let me know what you guys think about this story in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
The reason that I felt Von was a serial killer, because I've come across people that have killed a lot of people in gang wars before. You know, I did the video about No Limit, G Herbo's crew. There's a guy called Mad Max that, you know, they say he had 9 or 10 bodies, right? But I think, for me, where I felt he became a serial killer was you got these multiple murders. There's more than 3 murders, and they're more than a month apart. Some of them are years apart. It was really like, when he became famous, the personal gratification that he seemed to get out of killing, I would say he was responsible for the murder of FBG Duck. In a way that he felt responsible. He tweeted a go emoji like minutes after Duck was killed. You know, he got a lot of personal gratification out of these killings. I think he wanted to continue these killings. He wanted the whole world to know. I wish I'd have thought of this when I made the documentary. I've only thought of it after, but I feel like Von, I feel like he's the closest I could describe him to a traditional serial killer is the Zodiac Killer. Because Von killed all these people, he became famous, he wanted everyone to know that he killed all these people. You know, you ain't a killer if you only got 2 bodies. Like, talk about bodies, I got 2, 4 plus 3, 3 plus 2. Like, Von wanted the whole world to know that he was killing. He was putting out these codes. He was getting this personal gratification from killing, and he still wanted to kill. He wanted to have Duck killed. He wanted to have Man killed. There was a supposed rumored body in Atlanta. Now, I kind of disproved that in the video, but it's like, he wanted people to know he was a killer. I think he was more interested in getting people killed than rapping.
I heard about, I've seen some videos on it, how I was saying King Von was really like that, bro. I know like he had that different side to him, man. Might have to check out a video or 2. What do you guys think? Believe that about King Von?
Here's what Baby Reindeer didn't tell you. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you will probably have heard of Baby Reindeer. It's a new series on Netflix, which is a harrowing account of abuse and stalking. Now, it's told by the actual victim in this case, who plays himself. However, there are a few things that have been missed out. Now, Richard Gadd, as I said, was the victim in this case and told the story by playing himself. But Richard was actually a lot more successful than he gave himself credit for in the drama. He featured as an actor on Outlander and Click, and he also more recently co-wrote an episode of Sex Education. Obviously, we know Martha's real name and identity were left out of the series. Richard also intentionally changed elements of her character. He said that he wanted to change bits of her life, as well as obviously using a different name for her in the series, so that she wouldn't be hounded in real life.
Okay.
He actually wanted to prevent people from harassing the real stalker. Another element that was left out of the story were exactly how many messages his stalker left for him. Now, Richard has since stated that there were over 41,000 emails, 744 tweets, and 46 Facebook messages from 4 different Facebook accounts. He stated that the total length of all of the voicemails that the real Martha left for him totaled over 350 hours. She also sent him 106 pages of actual physical letters, which we never saw in the series. Richard stated that not only did his stalker send him emails, Facebook messages, and tweets, she actually also sent him physical gifts. These gifts included an actual baby reindeer toy as a present, and she also sent him sleeping tablets and boxers.
Another true crime story of how they were caught. Lee Hartley, a lieutenant in the Navy, was on a carrier warship when he started feeling ill. Started having stomach cramps and vomiting. He would get better, but then get sick again. And it got so bad, he had to get flown out to Florida, where he later died in the hospital. A savvy doctor noticed that all his organs had been so damaged that he suspected there might be heavy metal poisoning, and he requested that at an autopsy. Because of that doctor, they tested for possible poisons, and they found that there was arsenic in his system. Now police had to look at 4,000 possible suspects aboard the ship. Police scoured all over the ship, but couldn't find the source of the arsenic. Police were also able to learn that while he was in Spain, 3 months before his death, he was also feeling ill, along with another shipmate. Police also found out when the ship stopped in Spain, his wife had actually flown out to meet with him for 8 days. She had cooked both men breakfast before they fell ill. Police interviewed his wife Pamela, and she denied involvement and would pass a polygraph test, and the case would go cold for 13 years. Then in 1995, police reopened the investigation and started interviewing people close to the family. Police interviewed Pam's brother, who actually said she had recruited him to try to kill her husband, but he refused. Arsenic is retained in the fingernails and hair of victims longer, so forensics were able to look at a strand of his hair to get a timeline of when he ingested the arsenic and how long he'd been exposed to it. Police determined that his wife Pamela sent him care packages when he was on deployment, and through those hair samples learned that he first got ill just a few weeks when he was on his deployment. He was then sick in Spain when his wife was there. Police believe the victim consumed baked goods from his wife while he was on ship and continued to fall ill before he was hospitalized. Police also noted that Pam visited him in the hospital in Florida, and the arsenic samples spiked yet again while she was there with him. Police interrogated Pamela and confronted her with the evidence and information, and she quickly confessed. She told police she loved her husband so much she didn't want to break his heart by getting a divorce. What's crazy is she was charged with second-degree murder, would get a 40-year sentence, but would be released after 16 years. But that was how she was caught.
Crazy, man. These people, they just can't lead the relationships. If like both of them being alive or something like this, like, bro, somebody wants to end a relationship, they always have to do the unthinkable, man, to end it all. Because she said she don't want to break his heart. But look what happened. These cases seekers, man. Learn more and more each and every single day. If you guys stay with me to the end of the video, if you're a truth seeker seeking the truth, I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, if you guys want me to react to other different TikTok clips, man, like I said, guys, follow all my social media so you guys can send me the clips in my DM so I can incorporate them into the next video, man. If you guys want me to check out some more stuff, like I said, I'm also working on making a Discord, man, but it's more complicated than I thought, but I'm trying to work through it. So at least if you guys don't want to send me it on my social medias, I can make up the Discord and you guys can send it there. But we're growing seekers. Really appreciate the support, man. We're gonna keep going. Been uploading daily this whole month, man. So we need it. I want to see some clapping emojis in the comment section down below, man. So you guys support. You guys gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, seekers.